Hi guys, I am outside today trying to get at least a little bit more of these last minute summer vibes because once they're gone, they'll still be here actually because I live in a very hot state. But there's this animal attempting to be in the video today. He's not that great of a co-host, just FYI forewarning. Um, but we're gonna get with it today. Today, I want to talk about something that's a little cheesy. I guess most of this channel really is cheesy. I do get pretty deep sometimes, but and you know what? I'm just gonna go. If you are new to this channel, I do a 3-card reading for every video just to get a confirmation of the energy. So I do not handpick these. Please don't drink my tea, Mr. Kitty. But I do this just as a confirmation for the energy so we can, like, confirm what the topic of the video is. So it just kind of goes hand in hand. The first card that I pulled, excuse the purring, was the Six of Swords energy, which goes along with earned success, and it's actually really important that we talk about that today too, just because I know it seems a little silly, like earned success, what does that have to do with authenticity? It actually has a lot to do with authenticity because it's something about your frequency and your energy that really attracts. That's like your main form of attraction, is being authentic in your energy, which, it can also be like this toxic side of you. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that everybody's perfect and you just being who you are is always going to get you, you know, dude, please don't scratch me. The the energy that you're wanting to receive, but it might be the distraction that you need right now. Um Probably not. But the earned success will come along with your authenticity in so many ways. This cat really likes my dress today. And it will come together through your authenticity, because that's where earned success really comes from. Like, people, it's like, okay, so if you're like inboxed by somebody trying to sell you something and they have like this energy, they're being like straightforward with you about selling something, but you can tell, like, just by them asking you for this sell, there's something weird in the energy going on. Confirmation, white card. I get weird confirmations, but it's really about standing in your power to being a really great manifester and intuitive leader, because when you do stand in that power, you're with your authentic self, especially your spirituality, then you develop this sense of earthly power that you can utilize to receive abundance. So utilize the earthly power to receive abundance. It is a little noisy right now just because people are getting off of work, so we'll try to keep this short and simple and easy. But I am seeing a lot of oppression from this energy because we are not completely standing in ourself and our true power and being who we are authentically. Whether that be like your truest form of expressing yourself. Like, if there's things that you feel like you're holding on to, there's probably a lot of things that you are actually holding on to, and maybe exploring this a little bit further will help you with your authenticity and your self-expression. So your self-expression is what's going to lead you away from the oppression. So standing in that earth, because, okay, so these, look at these separate. This is your power, this is who you are, but this is what's holding you back, not standing in that power. So this is your non-authentic expression, being there with the ego self. Your sun card, your or sun sign, is basically kind of leading the way, while your moon sign is your authentic self. It's who you are privately. And so if you take that into consideration, like your sun, this is your sun, see that light, the yellow energy, and then this is your moon. We have, like, I don't know, it's not necessarily like, it doesn't look like a moon, but it's reflective in a lot of metaphorical ways, promise you. But like, your sun sign is going to keep you distracted with your ego. So it's not necessarily like bad or anything, but it's going to be like how you present yourself. And if you're not presenting yourself authentically, people will kind of read into that, usually, especially if they're intuitive. Um, so it's just something to consider. Like, if you really want to become big, like maybe standing in who you really are, like deep on a core level, like standing true to your belief systems, standing true to your creative self and your expressive self. And, doing that, it doesn't always seem like, how is that really going to create abundance for me? How is it really going to create a better life for me if I'm just like, constantly expressing myself? You would be so surprised how much you hold on to by not expressing yourself. So when we don't express ourselves, when we don't communicate, like think of this as a relationship. Like how when does a relationship ever work if there's no communication? If there's miscommunication within a relationship, it doesn't work. It falls apart. There's so many barriers, there's so many walls that you hit, because there's not things being communicated. So if you think about it this way, and think about, there's a butterfly confirming again. If you think about like your self-expression as being who you are and being like your personality, like your true personality. And I'm not talking about like who you are, like, joking online, all those like dark jokes, I'm not talking crap about dark humor, by the way, cuz I got plenty of it. But like when you present yourself to the rest of the world, it's usually online. It's usually through social media. Like, even if you are a professional person and this is just who you are and you present yourself professionally, people can tell that that's who you are presenting yourself as. So when you are a little bit more authentic, like take some of my more raw videos. I actually, when I'm like just going with it, I don't plan anything. Usually I can express myself a lot easier. Bear with me, I gotta catch this tarot card. Feels really nice out here. It's almost fall, I can feel it. So, going back to it, when I make my raw videos, I'm usually able to just kind of like communicate myself a little bit. Like, okay, usually when I'm like making these videos and I'm usually self-expressing, especially when I'm going through things, like it helps me, it helps you by helping, okay, no, it helps to express ourselves. When we release, we express a lot of energy. We express and release a lot of energy that we're holding on to, like whether that be like emotions, trauma, a way of thinking. Like just because you're keeping it in this box and you've like locked it away and stored it underneath something, it still exists. Think about it this way. And if it still exists, it's still there. You can, I mean, somebody like can go underneath your bed or whatever and like go and retrieve this safe and see that there's a safe here, and they'll shake it around. They'll try to lockpick it. They'll do all these things. Maybe somebody won't always find it, but you yourself will still know that it's there because you're the one that hid it. You're the one that put it there in a box, locked it away so nobody could find it, but it still exists. Energy cannot be destroyed, it cannot be created, that sort of thing. So like when you self-express, you're actually releasing a lot of things that you're actually holding on to you. And so by being authentic, you get to feel a much more raw sense of self, and you'll actually learn a lot more about yourself by being authentic, because sometimes we don't know exactly how we feel. We don't know on a core level like why we made certain decisions based off of like intellect, emotions, logic, whatever it is. Like a lot of those things like are usually kind of dormant in our subconscious. Like we don't actually like go to activate these things. We don't go in and try to decipher like and heal these things that we've like experienced. We like just nonchalantly just brush them aside and don't feel like they're gonna heal themselves, but we don't take the consideration of what it could do for us if we do heal that side of us. So it's just kind of like put in a box, hidden away, and it still exists, it's still there, but we let ourselves forget about it. Cognitive dissonance. It's not healthy. It may seem healthy at first, but it really isn't. It's not going to, you're still going to have a bunch of triggers. You're still going to have a lot of outlying energy that you're holding on to that won't be it won't it will express itself in dangerous moments. It will express itself through triggers. So somebody, like I said earlier, like somebody will come and find this box under the bed, they'll shake it up, they'll poke at it, try to lock pick it, all these sort of things, and it's going to put you on edge. It's going to push you even further because you're like, well, hey, I tucked this away, I hid it, and now there's somebody else trying to poke at it. Like, why are we here poking the bear? But it's not that person's problem. This is the one thing that you really are going to have to understand and consider. It's not the other person, it's you. I have come to consideration with that many a times. And I've also hit roadblocks even while considering it. So, it's something that you're going to have to kind of force yourself to re-experience so you can really get to know yourself better and the other people involved. But I can promise you, if you're in some sort of like karmic relationship, if you watch any of my other videos, I talk about this a lot. It's a reflection of what you are experiencing. You will see patterns and cycles in the other person that are actually very reflective of you. You'll see a lot of similarities, and that can actually trigger a trauma bond when they are like toxic things that you have like connected with, and you see that pattern. So you can feel like a sense of connection through your defaults and your faults, and it's not a real connection. A real connection is developed over time. It's not something you just have. I know that's a strange one to actually fully accept. Apologies. So yeah, your connection. If you're going through like the talking stage, or if you're just kind of developing a relationship with that person, but the emotions are very strong, like the energy is very strong, you feel this sort of like connection with this person, but you haven't actually developed anything. You haven't communicated very much. You don't know a whole lot about each other's like triggers, their dislikes, as you may know a lot of their likes, but you don't know so much of their like dislikes or triggers. Anything like as far as like emotional baggage, like these things we don't like to overanalyze, and it's not what I'm necessarily teaching you or trying to tell you to do. But like if you haven't actually like you know grown into this relationship, like you guys haven't actually communicated these things to each other, with each other, then it's not a real connection, and usually it's going to be more emotion based energy, and emotions and energy can get really confusing. We can confuse energy like spiritual energy, real connections, spiritual connections. We can confuse that with emotions, and that is actually something that pops up very often, especially in like the twin flame situations. So usually like it's something like reflective, like your twin flame has like a lot of characteristics and traumas that you share as well. You guys are reflective of each other, but until you actually fully accept that that's not the connection that you two have, it's just something that you both share and experience and reflect each other back towards, then you can develop and understand each other on a deeper soul level. However, like unless you really truly understand that that's not the connection that you guys, or it's not the purpose, the that connection isn't going to serve purpose and value in your love connection. It's going to serve purpose and value in your growth connection with that person. So like when you guys communicate these things, it's going to help you guys grow together, but it's not a default connection. It's not something that's not it's the energy, the emotions, that's not something that's strong. It's not what's going to hold this relationship together. It is not the base, it is not the foundation, it is not the glue. So just try to understand that sort of thing with the authentic expression, and then going back towards your creative side. This is where authenticity comes into your abundance. So when we are expressing ourselves and we're going based off of our actual experiences, we're not copying somebody else's content, we're not We're not going off of like assumptions. And we're actually really trying to break things down and decipher them through like journaling, re-experiencing traumas, or not re-experiencing, but re-examining traumas, healing traumas. If we're not really actually like, if that's not our aim, if that's not our reach, then it's going to be expressed. It's going to be shown, and maybe, maybe the people won't necessarily pick up on that right away, but it's going to block people. Like people are going to be turned off basically by it. Like there's going to be something that's going to be unauthentic energy wise, and they're going to feel it, and so they're going to stray away from you. It's kind of like the salesperson that's in your inbox, and you're like, yeah, no, that feels weird. I'm not gonna deal with that. Yeah, very similar, but it's something to grow through. So when you're here, expressing yourself authentically through journaling, through creativity, through music, or just with a partner, communicating with a friend, whatever it is, when you express yourself on a core level, like it really comes through, it shines through for you specifically too, because then you're able to recognize a lot of your patterns and your traits much easier that way, because you're willing to accept yourself and accept your faults, and really actually analyze yourself without the over analytical side. You know what I mean? So like we're here to grow and develop ourselves and analyze ourselves, but we're not here to overthink ourselves. We're not here to trigger our own traumas. That's not going to help you heal. Um, but accessing, and accepting that those things are actually real, they did happen. You don't gaslight yourself, and you're actually fully capable of processing these things. It will help you develop as a person, as an individual, and help you like it'll help you with your communication skills. This is actually something I've been working on recently. Is really developing better communication skills, because sometimes I do express myself. I overexpress myself, and that's like that's a bad habit, is overexpressing too. You don't want to overexpress yourself. You want to be genuine. You want to be short, simple, straight to the point. Especially if other people are involved. If you're just here trying to journal and figure things out by yourself and meditate on it, then don't worry so much about like the process part. But when you're communicating with somebody else and you're wanting to be authentic, you should be short, and concise and simple. But yeah, I hope today at least helps break down some things for you. I wanted to get a little bit deeper on this, but I have some things I need to catch up on anyway. But I will dive deeper into the authenticity and what it actually looks like, if that's something you guys are interested in. Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you want more content like this. I will definitely be going live on twitch.tv later this evening. If you do want a tarot reading, I do them privately, and I do them by donation on my live streams. Bye.